Good evening. This is Pineapple Jones here, and I'll have some words of encouragement for you tonight. I've been reading my Bible, and I would like for you to read Second Kings, the seventh chapter. And my topic is really going to come from that fourth verse, and they say, "Why sit here until we die?" Now, in this whole chapter, this whole city is in a famine. Nobody has nothing to eat. Nobody has nothing to share with nobody else. They have nothing to eat. And it's an army. The enemy is about to attack this city because they're weak. They can't fight back. Okay, so it's four men. I call them the Walking Dead brothers, but it's four men with leprosy, and they're like the Walking Dead. And you know, when you got leprosy, you got to walk in, and if you're near anybody, you got to say unclean, unclean. You got to let everybody know you got leprosy, and everybody's afraid of you. Somebody might hit you, somebody might throw rocks at you. They don't want you near them because they feel like it's contagious. All leprosy people live together, lived in caves and back part of the city. They just stayed in the hilly part, away from everybody. But, when they look at each other, it's like I'm looking at the same thing. There's no hope there. When I'm looking at you, you falling apart, I'm falling apart. So these four guys went into the city. And so everybody was looking at them. They got leprosy. They saying unclean. Nobody wants them there. So they just went to the door, went to the gate of the city. They're just going to stay at the gate. So they're at the gate of the city, and they're looking at each other, and they know that the army is out there that's going to come and attack the city. And so they just looked at each other and made a decision. They said, we're not just going to sit here and die. Sometimes situations come in your life, you're not just going to sit here and die. You're going to move forward. You're going to do something. And if you're praying, God is always working. He's always working something out for you. So you just got to trust him. But in this lesson, it didn't say these men got together. They touched and agreed and prayed, and they just touched and asked God to bless them. It just said they made a decision that they were not going to sit there and die. So they said they weren't going to sit at the city. If they sit at the gate, they're going to die if the army come and attack them. So why not go face the army? So that's what they did. They walked out toward the army. And the people in the city were God people. God had a plan for them. So he used the men, the Walking Dead. He used them to go to face the army. And when they walked toward the army, God let the army hear a huge army, a whole lot of a loud noises, like it's a whole army, troops and troops of people coming at them. And the army people fled. They left the camp. Now these four men, the Walking Dead, that didn't have no food, no clothes, no transportation, like no horses to ride, no silver, no gold. They had nothing. But they walked on into that camp. And when they got in the camp, it was food in the camp. It was clothes in the camp. It was money in the camp. And they were happy. They made the right decision to keep moving forward. Sometimes we don't make a decision. Sometimes we just sit there. Sometimes if we just step forward and move out, we don't know what's out there for us. But if we go for it, we'll be blessed. We're not going to just sit here and die. So they had everything they wanted. So what did they do? They thought about keeping it because some people in the city ain't want them in there. Every time they walk towards somebody, they got to say, unclean, I'm unclean. I mean, how would you feel today? If we had to walk and say our sins out loud, like, I'm an adulterer, I'm a liar, I'm a liar, I'm a thief, I'm a thief. They had to say unclean, unclean when they walked near people. But they decided that they was going to go and tell the king that they had what they needed and that the army had left. And when they did that, these four men, the Walking Dead, saved the city because they refused to just sit there and die. They refused to sit at the gate and just die. We in the pandemic right now. We living in that, and we wearing masks, and we trying to do what's right and keep ourselves from everybody, and trying to stay away from crowds and stuff, and we trying to do everything. But we got to know this, that God is with us, and that we move forward, he will move with us. And we just not going to just sit there and die. What we're going to do, we're going to pray more. We're going to read more. We're going to get in the word. We're going to establish us a relationship with God and get closer to him. We won't have to be bored. We won't have to have nothing to do. We can always call on Jesus and he'll give us a word. We can always pray and he can enlighten our hearts and he can encourage us. We're not going to just sit here and die. Don't you just sit there. Move forward. Keep it going. Pray. Ask God to go with you. You know, he never leave us nor forsake us. You know, wherever we are, he's there. You know, if God be for us, who can be against us? So God is with us. Don't just sit back and get depressed and don't make a step to move forward. Keep it going. Keep it moving. Keep moving forward. And if you fall on your face, get back up and say, Lord, help me. Maybe that decision wasn't right. Lord, help me to make the right decisions. But I'm going to keep on trying and I'm going to keep on making an effort. And I'm not going to stop. I'm not just going to sit in this one place and just die because of what's going on in my surroundings. I'm going to trust God and I'm going to keep it moving forward. So just read 2 Kings, the 7th chapter. I think you will enjoy it because they made a decision and they could have kept all their silver and gold to themselves, but they didn't. They shared it with the city. So everybody appreciate those 4 million with leprosy. The Walking Dead brought some of them back alive. How you like that? All right, until another time, I hope you enjoyed it. Goodbye.